studio. It's time for our weekly conversation with Michael Earley, brought to you by Duck Camp. At Duck Camp, we know the best moments happen out there on the boat, casting a line, hauling the catch of the day. Be sure to check out the Duck Camp new spring hats like the fan favorite crawfish hat and the redfish hat at duckcamp.com. And here he is. We've got Michael Earley with us. Hello, Coach.
Hello. Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Richard Zane and Ryan Broninger. So I got to ask you about it right out the gate. It's the most anticipated series of the year. Just how do you feel the way the team is playing heading into it?
I feel great. I feel great with where we're at. And, I understand Texas and the rivalry, which is super important to a lot of people. And, it's important to us too. But at the same time, we're playing these road games just like we've played the last couple of road games. And we feel like we're pretty battle tested. And, how we've been playing, especially on the road headed into this, feel good about it. But at the same time, you're only as good as the next one. So we got to continue to play great baseball.
We've had a bunch of the guys in this week, and they talk about, it's one of the key elements of baseball. You got to play with emotion, but you can't be emotional. There's going to be a lot of emotional people walking into the stadium. How do you kind of separate what's going on in the stands to what's going on in your dugout?
Yeah, I think it starts with the leaders on our team. It starts with me and the coaching staff and how we act and how we conduct ourselves. And to us, it's really just business as usual. Like I want to win this game tomorrow as bad as I wanted to win the game we just had on Tuesday. So our day-to-day and our preparation, our routine, it won't change. And those are the things you have to fall back on, specifically when there's SEC road games that are really, really important.
You've obviously had some experience in this rivalry and some experience at that ballpark in Austin. How do you think those experiences have prepared you for now being in the seat you're in as the head coach going into the Lone Star Showdown?
I think any time you play in big games or big atmospheres or anything, it just, puts another notch on your belt on like just that comfort level. And more so for the team, like I'm not out there playing, so I get to enjoy watching these guys play. So for these guys to have that experience, some have played there, and getting to play at a place like Arkansas, I think really hardens you. Like that is like a really, really tough place to play. Like TV doesn't do it justice. So I think those guys being able to get experience that right before, I think, you couldn't have asked for a better preparation.
It was a midweek game against the same team that you talked about in your post game. They're struggling, but the kids are playing hard over there. Were you pleased with how your guys kind of bounced back? You had an emotional series win in Arkansas. Then you had to sit around for a few days.
Yeah.
Because you played on Friday. How were you with the response of your club, how they played on Tuesday? I
thought it was really mature. Because, like you said, Sam, those kids, they're struggling this year, but they got some tough kids over there that really, really play hard, and they can beat you, and especially in baseball. And you get a day off, and then Easter, kids are traveling all over the state. I was really just proud of how mature they were, how great they were at practice on Monday, all the things they do leading up to it, because a game like that sandwiched in between Arkansas and Texas, you never know. And, anyone can beat anyone. So I was just really proud about the professionalism and how they came in and took care of business.
Sticking with the Tuesday game and Blake Bender up 2 home runs, we asked about him post-game on Tuesday, but what has he been able to do to this entire lineup being able to get hot? What has he provided to the club?
Yeah, the power is real. It's not just the power; it's the good at bats and the timely hitting. And some of the at bats that I've really liked is when he's got down in the count and got the count back to even or to full, and then had a chance to either to do something, and just seeing pitches. And really, that guy just takes to coaching. He's done a really good job. He's had some struggles this year, just like anyone else. But credit to him for staying with it. Like has really, really stayed with it even when he wasn't playing.
When it comes to the mechanical adjustments he's had to make, how difficult is it for a player to implement those in the middle of the season like he has?
Very, very difficult. Even though we're trying to simplify him, you're asking him to do something he's never done before in his life. And it started at Tuesday at Sam, made an adjustment, but it's like we think it can be better. And to ask him to make another one right before the weekend and for him to be able to do it. And I think it is a credit to his buy-in. I think I said the other day after the game, if we asked Blake to hit left-handed, he would do it. So it's just his buy-in and his work ethic, and he's got some real skills. It's just how do we get him in a spot to make those skills more consistent? And I think we're on to something with what he's doing right now.
With Caden Sorrell, managing the workload, how did he feel? What were y'all's conversations like? He came in here yesterday and said that he was really itching to play, and he would go to you, say, Coach, I'm ready, and you were like being overly cautious with it, and like you said you were. But how do you feel like he managed being out in the field, and then how does he feel now, and do you anticipate him playing more in the outfield?
Yeah, I do. It's funny. I think I said it the other day too, but I wanted to see him run around the outfield before the game in Arkansas, and the first ball hit is like a liner over his head. He turns, run, jumps. I like hold my breath, and he catches it. Everything's fine. I went and ripped the lineup after that. He probably could have played outfield, I'd say maybe a week and a half before we actually played him, and then how the matchup worked out. So you can see how important the guy is to our team. He's fully capable of playing, and we'll just see how it goes. I'd definitely like to get him out there to do some different things in that DH spot. But he's been great, man. I mean, what a player. What a player. Like, he's everything we thought he would be. It stinks we had to wait for it, but getting him back out on defense is big too, because I dropped my mic. I'm sure you remember how good of an outfielder that guy is. Yeah. Like, it's not just a hitter. Like, that guy was a really, really good outfielder. Like, talk about some big-time catches. So just having him back in general, we still want to stay cautious, but at some point we're getting to the point where it's time to play.
I also had him in here with Gavin Grahovic, and I was talking to Gavin about just, every time they show the dugout, it sucks to see Gavin have to be in there and be a spectator. How do you think he's handled this? Obviously, for the competitive side, it's eating him alive, but how has he been in the clubhouse and in the dugout?
He's been great, and I love seeing him and hate seeing him every single day. So he's been awesome. It's been tough on him, and I think and what I told him before, when he made this decision, the message was like, this is probably terrible to you, but you're going to grow so much from it. And you get a chance to sit back and watch baseball and not have to worry about playing, you learn so much about the game. You learn so much mentally. You get to watch other guys. So it won't be as good as him playing this year and getting the playing experience, but that guy can play. Now he's getting some experience. And, he grew up son of a coach, so he actually brings some good insight. Like, he'll say some stuff during the game or at practice. So it just – a guy like that, his leadership skills and having him around is a close second to him actually being on the field.
Terrence Keel, the second, saw him get his first big, collegiate career home run on Tuesday night. How special was that moment? And then also, with a true freshman like that going into a place like Austin this weekend, how much of the guys around him really tried to coach him up and try to make sure he sticks within that mature approach against Texas?
Yeah, TK, he'll be fine. He won't be fazed by the moment, as he's seen all year. And it was really, you knew the home run was coming for him just because in batting practice he's really good at hitting low line drives the other way. They throw it inside. He's got that pull side loft. So I think more are coming. I mean, it's just about him sticking within his game and knowing who he is, and he's done that. And he's had some just typical lapses as a freshman, any player would have, but he continues to bring good at bats. I thought Arkansas the other day was great because he had a tough first couple games. He starts off game 3 with the strikeout, but one of the bigger hits he got was that ground ball up the middle with 2 outs to allow Jace to hit the home run to give us some. So he's awesome, man. He's awesome, and he won't be fazed by anything this weekend.
I know that life in the SEC, you expect these matchups, right?
Yeah.
Tennessee, Arkansas, now on the road at Texas. What does Texas specifically do that makes them so good?
They're a pretty sound ball club. I mean, they pitch, they hit. They do a lot of things right, man. They throw strikes. They don't walk people. I think we're real similar if you look at statistics from each side of the ball. I mean, we know how they're going to play. I know their brand of baseball and what they're trying to do. And in baseball, that means absolutely nothing. It's not like football where you can scheme.
Right. Like,
they're going to play clean baseball. They play good defense. They're a really good baseball team. And we're going to have our hands full, especially on the road. They got some real talent in the batter's box, like some guys that are some professional baseball players, and they got the same thing on the mound. So they're just like every other SEC team. You're not going to have more talent than them. You just got to go out and play better baseball.
And on your side with the pitching staff, again, I thought Ryan Prager took a step forward in terms of the overall stuff. And you guys are looking at the analytics, and I think you said, it was better again.
Yeah.
But was there ever any thought about changing that deal up? Or he's your guy in game 1 no matter what.
Yeah, no. And at this point, there's no thought of doing that. It's 3-game series. Like, we're playing 3 games like they're their own game, and they all are mapped out, and how our bullpen is and how things have been rolling, and most importantly, my belief in Ryan Prager and the directions I think and he's taken, because he was better. He was better last. Now, is it better to his standards? No, because one pitch got away from him and the guy hit a home run, so that's not up to his standards. But in my eyes, that ball's caught in left field. Who knows what the next batter does, and it changes the whole narrative. Who knows what happens if a ball doesn't hit off Jace LaViolette's glove and go over the fence, or if I take him out of the game and that guy, you know what I'm saying? Like,
well, remember, you go back to that SEC tournament where Jordan Thompson with Micah Dallas was pitching.
First pitch of the game.
Wyatt
Langford left center. Bam.
And Jordan Thompson makes an incredible catch.
Yeah.
And from that point on, Micah Dallas just started rolling.
Right. So Ryan's he's trending in the right direction, and our belief in him and his ability, I want him to pitch game one, always.
Talking to Michael Earley here on TexAgs Live. Coach, let's talk about the calluses this team has gone through, but you specifically. You talked about how going through some of these journeys has made them better. How about you? How have you kind of evolved because of them?
Yeah, I mean, anything that's tough in life, in sports, whether it's self-inflicted or not, just hard. You got a choice to make, right? You can run from it, or you can run right to it, and that's my personality and always will be. Whenever things are tough, you hate when it's tough, right? Like it feels good when it's good. But I think there's always like a small part of me, and always has been, when things are tough or not going right, there's like this small dark place that I kind of like it. Like I kind of like it because it's like, okay, what do we got to do? And I've said this before, I've never considered myself a baseball coach. Like I'm a problem solver. Like how do we fix this problem, solve it, keep it, and then move on. So it's been good, right? Like I've learned a lot. I think our team's learned a lot about ourselves and how we need to do things, but just really falling back on things you believe in and actually still believing in them when things aren't going right while making adjustments. Just those core principles and things I believe in the game. You have to really double down if you really believe on them, and I'm glad we have.
It goes back to, like, every day to me, a player and a team needs its vitamins and its medicine. Like how have you gone through the year, like, maintained them, given them their vitamins, which is what you do good, and, dose that with their medicine that they need, what you need to get better at?
Vitamins, medicine, and sometimes I say we got to go open heart surgery because this stuff ain't working. Yeah, that's a good point. So it's just like our hitting routine. Like we weren't hitting great, clearly. We kept our same routine. Now what we added, on Mondays since Vanderbilt, we haven't stopped. Like we have these 2 strike drills we do. And it's not a drill, it's more of a mindset. And just adding that and keeping it. Even when we've been doing well, we haven't stopped with the ground ball work, the things we did to fix that. Now we had to tone it down a little bit because we're borderline hurting guys, so they weren't going to be available to play in the game. But we kept doing it. So it's about maintaining your core beliefs, your vitamins, and then adding stuff in when you needed it, and then dosing it as you see fit. But I think the key thing when you make adjustments, it's not just a one-time fix. Like when the defense got better, I didn't want it to get bad again,
right,
and then have to make it better again. Yes. Same thing with the hitting. You want to keep those and then keep moving on.
It's such an underrated part, or probably an under-discussed part of being a head baseball coach, is practice structure. And getting guys what they need, maintaining confidence, and then when you're going through those doldrums, Coach, the daily practice plan that you build out, that agenda is massively important to getting your season turned around, and you have to balance that every day. A lot of people don't understand that.
Yeah, you got to balance with health. You got to balance where they're at mentally. It's like if you have a guy struggling hitting sliders, left on left sliders. You got to make a choice, right, between how mentally that guy is and what he needs. Like, do I really want to take him in on this machine so he gets carved on these sliders? What I'm saying? So it just depends on your guys, the health, the mentality, but the tricky part is you can't just coach one player. You have to coach a team. And I'm super lucky to have the veteran leadership that I do, like guys like Wyatt Hensler and Hayden Schott, where they're going to do they might not like a drill but you would never know it. And what's that do? The other guys feed off it. Mm-hmm. It's similar last year with Braden Montgomery. It was you bring in a guy like that, he's a star, but he was really bought into what we were doing, and all the guys were like, and that just comes with bringing in quality people into your program.
Funny you mentioned the Penn guy and the Columbia guy, since it's such a huge rivalry.
They were lobbying yesterday. It was it was pretty funny. It's everyone I think on outside our walls is definitely talking about A&M Texas, but inside out they're talking about Penn and Columbia. So that's where those guys.
You have to get Coach Elko to weigh in.
They're keeping their mind off it. But I said I'd have my decision for him by the end of the day.
Coach Earley, we appreciate you coming in, sir. Thank you very
guys.
much. Appreciate
Appreciate
it.
it.
Michael Earley here on TexAgs Live.